Good evening. Good evening. Hey, this is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. Today is Monday, January 31st, 2022. And I am Mark, your host, coming to you from Baker's Green Acres in the perimeter of downtown Marion. And here it is. It's Monday. We made it through another weekend. I made it through in flying colors. I know that there's a lot of people out there that are having health issues. I feel a breeze coming in out that door. Hold on a sec. All right. It's not all that cold out tonight, but chilly back here in the back room. A lot of times during the day, we'll have the door open, to let some of the heat from the wood stove spill in here and get it warm. Not so much today. All right. So we got Keith with us and Inga's with us. Awesome. Maybe we can get a shout out from everybody so we can see who all is here. That'd be kind of nice. All right. So not really a whole lot to report from the weekend. Summer Shades with us. Right on. Yeah, go Canada Trucks. I want to talk about that a little bit because I know I brought it up last week. It was all the rage. And I have some information about that, because I've been digesting it, of course. But yeah, so my son Sam is visiting us from the Air Force. He's in London, and so he drove up Friday, and so we've had kind of a fun weekend. Have some visitors come and been doing some fun things. We had some company on Saturday, and it was fun, but it was also functional. We are in the midst of planning out the Anyone Can Farm Tribe Day, second edition. Last year, it was kind of an impromptu thing, really. It was kind of mentioned, hey, this would be fun to make it like a summer camp. And I didn't really get too involved in it, actually. It was Jill and Amy and Rachel and Tatum, they got involved in it and they kind of put it together. It was a social media sort of splash, and we had 85 people show up here on Saturday. Some of them came camped over, and some of them camped over Friday and Saturday. So I had a great time and realized how productive it was. I think things are breaking down to the point now where you can see which camp people are in. If they're on board with the agenda that keeps people separated and masked and, inoculated, then that's really not the camp that we are with. And you can go with them if you want to. Go ahead. They're kind of, and don't look like they're going in a good direction to me, honestly. But you can go with them if you want, but we're not. We're definitely not going with them. We're creating our own group, and this is what we did. We got together Tribe Day and had a good time, and several people stepped forward and said, well, I know about this, I can teach this, and I know this, I'll teach that. And it was very productive. And I think a lot of people were inspired and enthused about maybe we're not going to go this direction. Maybe we're going to go this direction instead, Like the message from the machine was, you can't stand any closer than 6 feet to people. You have to put this muzzle on your face. And as soon as we give you another directive, you best friggin' do it. That was their directive. And it made you feel kind of like a teenager when your folks say, well, you can't do this, this, and this, but they don't really offer you an alternative. And so I think what we're doing is we're offering an alternative, and people are receptive to it. And the alternative really is, they are saying you must maybe somebody can help me with this. Maybe somebody's a good rhymer. They are saying you must comply, and we're saying don't rely, right? We're not saying don't comply. We're saying don't rely. So don't rely on any of the institutions that are going to be your master. They're going to tell you what to do, treat you like a little kid or a slave or whatever. And so the anyone can farm idea is to provide another way to go that I don't have to rely on you. So if you say, well, you got to do this, I can say, no, I don't. And there's nothing you can do, right? And here's why. We also specialize in the Bill of Rights of the U.S. Constitution. So, hey, Sean, how you doing? So, yeah, we planned that out this Saturday, had a great time, and then had something to eat. And folks that were visiting us and helping us plan this out, I think we nailed down quite a bit of stuff. And we're going to be posting a lot of the decisions that we made will all be posted, and then I'll get a copy of it and I'll make it known to you. But the date on that is July 9th, 2022. And yeah, it was a fun time. Hope it doesn't rain, hope it doesn't rain. That's the only thing that can really hold us back. But even that really can't hold us back. That time of the year is not really a showstopper. So we open the farm up and we try to make things as nice as we can. If people want to stay, they can. If they just want to visit for the day, they can. But it's a really nice experience. And I think this year we're going to be doing biochar. We're going to be doing a family cow. Well, you know what? I guess I don't know. Those are the two that I know because I was asked to do biochar. So I will do biochar. And Rachel's going to do the family cow. So this is, a 1 1/4 hour block of instruction to show you how to do something. Maybe you have, rabbits, phase 1, and then rabbits phasing and caring for, and then phase 2 will be butchering, and that's going to be done by my son Frank. He's really psyched. Hey Brittany, what's happening? Where you been? So that's what was happening this weekend, and then Sunday we actually had friends over that we have not seen in a long time, and for me and my family, we're making a conscious effort to get together with people, together with our friends. And that, this morning I had to go and do a little bit of visiting here and there. Actually, I had some things to do. And I noticed several parties are a little on edge. All right. It's been around here. It's been pretty cold and pretty gray. And, there's a lot of rotten stuff that's filtering down in the news. All right. So I titled this Profiteering in Times of Chaos. And I just thought that would get people's attention. And it did. Look, there's a bunch of people in here already. Good. We're still not where we were before because, we've switched our handle. Now we're the Anyone Can. We used to go under the Baker's Green Acres YouTube. And, all indications were that the Baker's Green Acres was throttled and we weren't going to get the reach that we felt could if we got away from it. There was a certain stigma that was attached with it because of the lawsuit that we had. And make no mistake, you can let your channel grow organically, or you can throw money at it. But conversely, if you can throw money at if I can throw money at my channel to make it grow, I can also throw money at somebody else's channel to stymie it. Make no mistake about it. So, our views aren't always in line with the agenda of the communist power that's happening in the United States. And so, yeah, we're not always going to be front and center on their sharing list. But that's okay, because I don't see this as a numbers game anyway. I see this as, critical information that's being disseminated out, and then you guys disseminate it out and things like that. I mean, there are times when I go through my playlist and there's certain other channels and I just cannot believe the views that they get. And I think, wow, but I guess that's the way it goes. All right. So today, I kind of like to tell people what the agenda on the farm today. It's not like I sat around all day just waiting for 8 o'clock to roll around. We have 3 pigs on the table down in the bush. They were in various stages of processing, and finally today got after it and knocked it all out. Now, I didn't participate in that. It was 2 of the boys, and the 2 little boys were helping with it, and they got it all done. I needed to do a wiring job over at my son's house. He's just put a bathroom on his house, and had to be wired up, and was over there last week, and I wasn't really able to get it done. The kids were running around and stuff, and I said, hey, I'll be back next week and get this done. And so today was the day, but that's done. That's behind me. And this week we are actually going to spend some time butchering cattle. Right? It's that time. Then I would have probably liked to have done it last month, but things came up. The trip to Texas actually set us back a little bit. Mostly, well, I don't want to start that now because I'm going to Texas. Things like that. And yeah, we just take it as it comes. But we are definitely out of beef, and it's time to put some in the fridge. So I'm going to knock a beef down tomorrow and get that ready for Friday. Actually, we're going to be processing beef as well, but we would like to have some pieces hanging, that are ready to be cut up and boned and stuff like that, so people will have something to do. All right. Well, that's cool. Yeah, make no mistake, we're in the process of putting together a curriculum for the homestead beef harvest. I'm just not really proficient at it yet. I've got to walk through it as though I was teaching it and say, okay, am I ready to do this? Because I don't know as I am quite yet. I don't. There's a lot of things that, I only do it once a year. And when I get into it, I say, well, do I cut here or do I cut here? And I think it's pretty important that if you put it out there that, hey, we're going to have a class, that I know what I'm doing, that I know what I'm doing. And you ever have one of those tasks that you do that you've done it a bunch of times, but then you question, am I proficient at this? Am I proficient enough to show other to do? So this week's going to be my defining moment where I say, okay, I get this, I get this, I get this. I need to sharpen up on this, but, I'll be ready. Okay, so as you may or may not know, there's a lot going on right now in the world, and I have to address this. I think everybody is talking about this thing and that thing, and there's a lot of reasons to be cheery. We've got this great thing happening in Canada. The Canadian truck drivers, they're going to save the day. And there's a couple of things, couple conversations that I've had with friends, and some information that's come my way that causes me to say, wait a minute here, wait a minute. Because all of a sudden I'm feeling like, well, I guess I can just sit back on my laurels here. The Canadian truckers are going to handle this for us. And whenever that flashes across my mind, I say, wait a minute, this is not healthy for the Canadian truckers to come to our rescue. You know, government people and by the people. And the people are the ones that need to get involved. Now, we're all watching this gross display that's happening before. Oh, you need to wear a mask. Oh, you need to wear a mask. Oh, actually, masks don't work. Oh, don't touch this hydrochloroquine. That's bad for you. Well, actually, it's good for you, and it cures other things too. Oh, this is bad for you. Oh, actually, it's good for you. You know, on and goes. You know, all this double speak, all these people who are experts that you're looking at them like, why would I ever trust you with anything? You know, what is the next thing that's coming? You know, you gotta wonder, and that's why I titled this "Profiteering in the Midst of Chaos" because I thought it would get some interest. Right? Are we in chaos right now? The only way to not be in chaos is to shut everything off and then just read books, you know, that they can't update on a daily basis, you know, books that were written before 1980. And I think you can keep the chaos at bay, but the chaos that surrounds us, I anymore that it's random, that it's organic, that there's a good side and a bad side. You know, I can't believe that anymore. I spent the and there was the good guys and the bad guys, right? But more likely, they're both and they both profit from our uh, our state of chaos, right? I think that's more likely. I'm not saying the truckers aren't good people. It's just that there's too much in that I got to scratch my head. You know, you've got 60,000 trucks headed towards the capital where all the criminals work, and they're slow walking it there. They're going slow, and it seems as though they are being ushered there. It seems to me, and but then again, you know, we think it's legit because the mainstream media isn't covering it. But now, wait a minute. How do they do that? Because everyone's looking for these stories, and unless mainstream media is not in competition against each other, somebody would say, well, I'm going to break that story, you know, or maybe there's such a tight lockdown that can't happen. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But I'm tired of looking at some Looks like we're back in business. All right, looks like we're back in business. All right, we've got a system now. I don't know why this is happening. You know, it's like a lot of technical problems. You just don't know. But Jill finds a way around it. I am back. Okay. Well, you know what? That's a great example. Since we've done this podcast, we've had a bit of issues like this, and we just keep going. All right. So here we have another idol being put up in front of us, you know, the Canadian truckers, and they're going to back Trudeau to a corner, and they're going to say very simply, no more mandates, right? Looks good. It looks good. But it could work. It could work. I listened to Jack Spirko today. He's back on Facebook, and he did one about the truckers, and he brought up a lot of good points. And what I decipher from what I'm seeing is, in a lot of ways, it's been allowed to happen, you know, in a lot of ways. And it's sort of like in jiu-jitsu, you allow your opponent to gain momentum in your direction, and then unbeknownst to him, you use that momentum against him at the last moment. The trick is to fool him into him thinking that he's going to use it against you. But let's say that he knows that you're going to turn it at the last minute and use it against him, and he has that accounted for, and he plans for that, right? Now, that could be happening too. We've got kind of a wild card with independent truckers. Where do the truckers stand right now? I don't know. That's part of the problem, Jack, is the mainstream media, which we have believed for a long time, possibly, right? Because what was the last idol that was put up in front of us? You know, like here's the save the day. Here's going to save the day. In a lot of ways, people can look at the last president that we had. You know, how effective was that presidency? Look at what we're going through now. You know, what we're going through now is definitely a war against the people of this country. I mean, you can't call it anything else. I mean, they're throwing our borders open, and you know, just destroying the country financially, and criminals run amok, and allowing just horrible things to happen. You know, you can't see this as a good thing. So here's where I come down on this. This is where I'm going to, for the foreseeable future anyway, I cannot stand down and say, well, those truckers got it. They got it. You know, they're going to put a twist in old Trudeau's tail, and that will fix things up in this country. How in the hell is this to happen? Now, maybe if the truckers in this country, which they don't have that many independent truckers in this country like they do in Canada, but maybe if it spreads into this country and they're not able to control it, like it seems to be out of control in Canada right now, maybe some good can shake out of it. Maybe. But I am not going to bet on it. I'm not going to bet on it. Okay. You sent me that video with Owen Benjamin. It brings a different aspect to this. And how many times have we heard that World War II both sides were financed by the same group of people? They can't lose. That's not new. So this worldwide measure that's being played out on us, there's the bad. It's bad for us, but these people think it's good, and then there's the good for us, and these people think it's bad. But it never really turns out to be as good as we thought, and it's never quite as bad. It's all seems to be kind of a show. And then you have all these people in Washington that is supposed to be in control, but then you hear from alternative media, they're not really in control. This guy's in control. He's in control. So what if this isn't chaos? I don't know what is. And for a long time I said, I'm optimistic, because I was listening inside and saying, I think these guys got it. I think they got it. I wanted to have it. I do not want our country destroyed by this group. I don't like to see that. Too many people have invested too much in this country to have that happen. And having been in other countries that are run by that gross, diabolical, corrupt, lying, thieving, parasitic entity, it's just no good. You come back to the United States and you're just like, But there seems to be a showdown going on, and the struggle is real. The struggle is real. So where does that leave us? And I'm not talking tonight as prospective business people. I'm talking tonight as head of household families, right? Like, what is happening and what should we do? And so I've contemplated this all weekend long, because I listened to the Owen Benjamin presentation twice. Listened twice. And a lot of what he says, he's got a lot to say. That it just, human nature. And he really had me at a place where I was thinking, you know what? I think he's right. But he didn't leave me like, hey, this thing is totally broke. There's nothing you can do. Eat shit and die. He did not leave me there. He didn't. And Jack Spirko today, he was a little sort of on the other side, in a way. He saw this thing as, hey, this is good. Potentially, this could lead to a revolution. And then there was probably the third flavor. You guys know I listen to Tarot by Janine. I just like Janine. I don't know about tarot, but it's one of the few things left on my YouTube feed, right? And she gets on with this other guy by the name of Jean-Claude, and he's from Canada, and they think that this is it, man. This is going to spread, and the Krimeft, the diabolical, parasitic, bureaucrats are all going to be round up and put in trainers. That they're that far that this is going to be okay. And I can't, from my position, I can't discern one or the other. So I try to find solace in every situation that I'm in. I really do. And I cannot find solace in what Owen Benjamin is saying. Not complete solace in that. I cannot find solace in what Jack Spirko is saying. And I cannot find solace in what Janine is saying. I cannot. And so I am searching for solace. What solace is? It's just ness. It's what's another synonym for solace? Come on, Jack. What's another synonym for solace, please? Anyway, I'm searching for that, and I know. All right, I will, Jack. I will. I appreciate you sending that to me, man. I really do. I didn't want to believe. I wanted to go with the scenario that, hey, these guys got us. They got us. They covered, right? But I did listen to it because of our, I listened to the first half hour and I wanted to say that Jack, he's out of his mind. I didn't, because I've gotten to know him. And on his word, I said, I better give this a listen because he's recommending it to me. See, the power of a group, the power of a group. We've been together a long time now. We have. And so this man sends this to me, and out of respect, okay, I'm going to listen to it. It wasn't what I wanted to hear, honestly, Jack. And you know that. And I know that you knew that before you sent it to me because, I'm kind of the Pollyanna-ish type, and I want to believe in a good thing. But I'm also the head of household, and I'm grown up, and, I have to deal in reality, right? So I can't, right? And I know, too, I realize that there's morale issues out there, not just because it's Jay either. There's morale issues, and we have to be there for each other. We do. This isn't just for fun anymore. This is not for fun. We have to do this. And I hear you. You did too. You did not want to. I didn't want to believe that. But then I listened to it. I did a little bit of research. Okay. We'll see, though. I mean, I fired you a response, said, I think you're right. And you said, time will tell. And it will. But what in the hell am I supposed to do in the meantime? What am I supposed to tell you what am I supposed to tell this audience in the meantime? Where do I find solace in sitting down and saying, hey, it's going to be all right. We just need to store some rice and beans. I cannot find solace there. And so I searched. And I listened to a lot of things. I thought about a lot. I discussed it with a good friend of mine last night at dinner. And yeah, the table is still open, right on. Nothing's been resolved. We don't know what's going to happen. And I decided to come tonight and open up a totally different argument, right? A totally different or course of a correction of course, right? And no, it's not different. I've said this before. And I gleaned some of this from the Benjamin show. He didn't line it up in a rhyme or anything, and I think we need to somehow, but it seems like they work us from both sides, right? Now they'll say, if you're a good liberal, you'll comply. But it used to be, in the 60s, if you were a good liberal, you didn't comply. See, so that's how they've switched it around. And I can just hear them now. They say, hey, watch this. Watch this, you guys. Watch what I do to Neil Young. I'll get him all twisted around the axle just by doing this. I don't even think that might not have even happened. That could all be fabricated. Reason why? Neil Young doesn't own those songs. So where would he get off saying, Spotify, if you don't take those off, if you don't take Rogan off, then you can take my songs off. They don't belong to you, Neil, and you know that, right? You already spent that on beer. So I question that whole thing. And now Joni Mitchell comes out. What does that really do? It just attention to Joe Rogan, the people that never would have listened to him. He started out, he had a whole bunch of libs listening to him. And then he got the flat earthers. And now he's got Jordan Peterson on, so he's getting a whole bunch of conservatives coming in there, educated conservatives. Ooh, is this a psyop? I don't know. Joe Rogan showed up on my feed today. I didn't ask for it. Do I get to show up on other people's feed without asking for it? No, I don't. So comfort, yes, solace equals comfort, reassurance, soothe, cheer, relief, peace. Yeah, and that's what I'm looking for, right? We're all looking for that. And in the past, Sean, I've found that in my process, right? So I do a process and it works good. I cut firewood, haul water, eat my dinner, and go to bed, and get up and do it again. Get up and do it again. Get up and do it again. And I find solace in that. You know, I am not continually heartbroken because I didn't make it to the Playboy mansion, you know, like I thought I was going to when I was 15 looking through Playboys. I never made it. Never made it. But now I found that, hey, you know, that was harsh. I had an incident to happen. I got to pass this on to you because this happened before my father passed away. He's an electrical engineer and he loved doing electrical work, right? It's sort of like, you know, you're a farmer, you're plowing fields all day, but you're really mowing your lawn, you know, because it's small and you can do a good job. And he really liked doing electrical work. And whenever he would come to visit, you know, my mom passed away in '89, so he was by himself and he would like, okay, what are we doing? And I knew he liked doing electrical work. So I'd say, well, you got to wire in this, you know, this here or this here. And 2 farms, he was probably visited us a total of 10 times. And he would stay for a week, you know, and we'd work some project and we'd sit and have hors d'oeuvres every night and talk about the old times and drink glasses of wine and stuff and had a great old time. You know, I really bonded with him in the later years. And so today my son, my oldest son, who used to work with me and my dad, you know, when he was just a little shaver, and he couldn't do a whole lot, but he would still be with us, you know, and so I'm helping him wire his bathroom. And he's had a hard time with some of this terminology like switch loop and a few other things. And so I'm just helping him with it, you know. And I started feeling like my father and looking at him like, you know, that was me. And I remember how grateful I was that my father was helping me. And now here I am helping my son. And my father at the end of his life, you know, last year or so didn't go so good. And it was a lot of confusion and stuff. But what I think about is that time when he helped me do these things. And I can still see some of these things on this farm that are in place because he said, no, this would be a good place to put the junction box and we need to do this and this. And I learned all of my home electrical prowess from him. I did. And as we were doing this today, I said, you know what, Kyle? When I think about my father, I think about the times when he helped us wire stuff in at the farm. And he says, yeah, it was a good time. And I said, that's why I'm here right now, because this is important. This is as good as it. If this is as good as it gets, this is as good as it needs to be. And I will never forget this day. We had an awesome day. We went to Tim Hortons. Kyle likes Tim Hortons. And we went there. We got a cup of coffee. And we got some steak wrap thing. I don't know. Kyle paid. And I said to the girl, you know, it's only side service. And I said, do we get a discount because we're Canadian truckers, eh? And she didn't get it. But anyway, it was fun. All right. All right. Jack's going to send that to you, Lone Star. I think I fired it over to you. I fired it to a pile of people today, Jack, because as I thought about it, it is, you know, we can figure them out. We can, but I think it's going to take some brain power to do it. So anyway, I'm looking for solace in these 2 scenarios, and my solace has always been in my process. My process is I do this. You put them all together, it's called a farm. And what comes from it is food. That's my process. That's where I find solace. So that's what I do. And I feel as lucky as can be to be able to do something that I find solace in. Can you imagine that? I can work a 10-hour day and be exhausted at the end of the day, feel like I've accomplished something, and yet feel as though I did not work today. I didn't go to work. And I know what it feels like to go to work, dreading the moment that you drive into that place and punch that clock and say, next 9 hours of my life belongs to that guy right there, for $15 an hour, and then you get off and in 2 hours it's dark and you're like, what have I just done? That's not what I'm involved in anymore. And I don't want people to be involved in that. I say, keep your day job and then start working the side on the outside. And before you know it, you can transition into full-time farming or homesteading is probably a better way to put it. But anyway, and that's what we're here for. Because what comes with that? Freedom comes with that. What is freedom? Freedom is dangerous. Dangerous, right? Freedom's dangerous. To who? Not to me. People who are free, they're an asset to me. But to the machine, freedom equals danger, and they want you in a box, right? So we're working our way out of that. So anyway, we've got to find some solace in this situation. And a lot of times what they give us is, well, comply. If you're a good lib, you'll comply and you'll get this vaccine and you'll do this and you'll do that. And then you'll be happy because you've complied, but none of them are. Or I'm not complying. And then, in this scenario, this particular scenario, oh, well, you must be a conservative. You must be a Trump supporter. And you resist and you don't comply and you bark at the Walmart man and you do this and you do that. But you ain't any happier because you're burning yourself out resisting. You're burning yourself out resisting. And these guys are burning themselves out complying and yelling at you for not complying. And you're yelling at them for being sheep. Who walks away from this scot-free? Who's cui bono, right? It's a great operation. Cui bono. Who benefits from this? The machine. The machine, the deep state machine. Yeah, maybe. That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. So, okay. So where's my solace come from? Where is my solace going to come from? Right now, if I listen to Jack Spirko today, which was excellent, and I recommend it. You're going to come away from that knowing some numbers should concern you, because if this thing that's happening in Canada comes down to the United States, the United States is a much cleaner operation, much more sophisticated operation, and we don't have a bunch of our stuff out on the roads in semis. No, it's like just-in-time supply chain, but we got it down to a couple of days. We're really good here in the United States. We're sophisticated. Where in Canada, it's cooler up there, so a lot of their stuff is in trucks. That's their warehouses, and they still do warehouses there. A lot of the trucks are independently owned. Where in the United States, not so much. So if it comes to the United States, what they've been talking about now for seems like 6 months of food shortages, and you've heard me say it, and I feel as though I'm preparing you for something that, hey, this could, that could be a reality. And not just a kind of reality, it could be a severe reality. A severe reality. If just 15% of the trucks are not operating, and that doesn't mean they are, they can just be, the truckers say, I'm not coming in. They work for a carrier and they say, I'm not in this, because the truckers are being shown through this operation going on in Canada, they have a lot of power. And here we are wanting the machine to be toppled. And so we're yelling at these truckers, park that baby, don't go to work. And we're asking for, we'll be asking for our own demise. We could be, right? And so you think, gee, should we do this or not? And then I have these graphs in my mind, and the chaos graph is up to about 62% right now, 62% chaos. And then it goes, boop, 67%. Do we encourage them to do it or not? Should I cheer on the truckers? Should I not cheer on the truckers? I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm searching for what? Solace, right? Because my mission is to make sure my children are fed, make sure my people are taken care of. And I've expanded my group, right? And I don't feed you guys, but I do give information, and I want to give good information. I want to help maintain morale. I want to inspire. I want to inform those things. That is my mission. And that's probably why I'm getting this information, is because I say, this is my mission. I'm supposed to know this. What is the answer here? And so all of a sudden, it just like, you keep asking the question and your brain goes to work on it and formulations come in, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? So where's solace going to come from this? And here we are I'm back at square one. I'm back at ground zero. Where is solace going to come from this? For me, it's going to be thinking about 6 weeks from now, when I step out the back door and I'm stepping on somewhat warm soil that goes squish in, that's coming. And what am I doing to prepare for that right now? What am I doing to prepare for that right now? Honestly, that scenario right there, I don't need to do anything. I'm prepared for that, right? Our garden area is built out. It's ready to go. It's bedded down for the winter. So I'm set on that. But I need to bring it to you all's attention. Are you ready for that? Because if you choose not to comply, you also have to choose not to rely on them, right? And I think I got that from Owen Benjamin. So he said, don't rely, don't comply, but don't rely. If I will not comply with the Walmart, putting a face mask on, I know that's old news and that's probably gone away now. I know, but we went through it. You all went through it, and a lot of you complied, right? But if you don't comply with him, then you can't rely on him, right? But if you don't rely on him, you don't have to comply with him. See? So like me going in there, if he tells me I can't go out, I'm not like, oh no, I'm going to starve if the Walmart man won't let me in. I can tell him to go to hell, and he's either going to back away and I'm going to get what I need, or he's not. But either way, I'm good because I don't rely and I don't comply. Got a dog problem in here. A dog right outside the door barking. Right outside that door. I'm sorry. So my solace is going to be in non-comply. I'm not going to comply with any of this BS because it's going to get worse. But I have to prepare to not rely. Right now, we haven't crossed the bridge where we can have no reliance on any of these outfits that have failed us. I don't rely on any of the county offices. I don't rely on the federal government for anything. I don't rely. We haven't crossed that bridge. Right now, it's little things that we are forced to comply with because we rely. But this is the point of anyone can farm, is pull away from the machine. It's good. We can do this on our own. It does begin with food. It certainly begins with food. It begins and ends with food, because when you discuss the food situation, it gets really interesting really fast. We had some people over Saturday and we were talking about the food situation, and I told you guys a couple of weeks back, Jill and I, for a little date night, we went into Cadillac to go to the track fly, which is really cool. Sunday night, they play country and western music, and gets Jill in the mood. And so we went to Tractor Supply and cruised around a little bit. And then we said, hey, let's go someplace different. Yeah, let's go to Walmart. I don't really like Walmart, but we wanted to go in Walmart and we wanted to look at the food supply. It's Sunday night. I'm sure that it got worked over pretty good. Saturday and Sunday, a lot of people do their shopping, their grocery, and they really clean it out, And so we went in, and about the only place where we could see gaps was in the meat section. And why is that? We, being farmers ourselves and having a lot of contacts that are farmers, I get a lot of articles sent to me, and I listen to Ice Age Farmer. That's a real good one to listen to. I don't always agree with everything that he says. I don't know the kid research, and I don't even know if he is a farmer, to be honest. A cool thing. A lot of it's like instant fear, it is motivational. But I don't really think there is a food shortage, because when we looked at the center section of the store, the Oreos, the Twinkies, the macaroni and sleeves, the Stofers, all that stuff, full and cheap. But when we get to the outside, we were seeing that, not so much meat, a lot of gaps in the meat, a lot of cheap ham, and no expensive cuts. They were all gone. But we're finding out that, that's not necessarily because there's less beef. That has to do with processing shortages and transportation, right? And inspection. So something that possibly is contrived, possibly. And, anything that the parasite organizations are involved with, I would say, yeah. You're telling me that, they're like the USDA and MDA, they're in place to ensure everything runs smooth, right? But they can't look down the road with all this going on and say, hey, we're going to have to pull a few roadblocks here so we can, boost production because we don't want a hiccup in the system. No, they can't do that. No, they can't do that, right? What if they're the ones that put in, they squeeze them, right? So chaos level just went up a little bit more. And the antidote to that chaos would be, we'll do our own. We'll do our own. And believe it or not, solutions were dropping in my lap, one after another, right? So here's an example of a solution. We have a small book up on the farm. We have a pretty good sized barn with maintenance shop. We have the ability to build on to the barn. We have the ability to teach people how to do things. We have, this and that. We have all these things. And now we have this shortage thing happening, or supposed shortage thing. And people are leaning forward. And I had 3 or 4 say to me, hey, when you get ready to butcher cattle, can we help? We'll do whatever you want. We just want to watch it, see it. We want to be involved because we need to know how to do this. And this is why I'm talking to you. The Anyone Can Farm homestead beef pricing is because I get a lot of people asking me this question. I mean, this is going to have to happen. And if you don't know this about me by now, I am Irish. I have drank more than I should have a day. I haven't a lot, but and I like to. I'm a scrapper. I do like to do that if I think I'm right. But I'm a beast. I've told you I'm an absolute beast, but I'm under control. I control myself, right? And when I see something going on, I see these choke points put, I see these scum parasites, hiding under these sheep's clothing and calling them themselves, the protectors of the food system and protectors of the people. And they're nothing but wolves. And you know it. You just know it. And they know you know it. But the system's so damned corrupt that they just snicker at you and collect their paycheck as they, stir a rock. That's what we're dealing with here. That bothers me. And for me to just call names and call them out like that, I get a little bit of solace out of that. I got to tell you, but enough. So for me,
Okay, see if that works.
how about now? Are we back? Good night, everybody. Mine just reminded me it's about my Oprah reruns. I'm back. I was right in the middle of a rant, but my solace comes from there are solutions to these problems. We just need to come together. I have 4 parties that are willing to travel here Friday or Saturday or Friday and Saturday and help us butcher beef. They just want to help. And so I wonder, hey, and these people can do that. How often would you like to do this? Would you like to do this once a week or so? And then, okay, get a bigger grinder. Okay, we're going to have to build this rail system out so we can load more animals. Okay, we're going to have to get our trailer up to speed so we can go out and we can bring these in. We don't necessarily have to grow them all here, But we can do the work on this, and it's completely legal to do it. Although I'm not really concerned. I'm just not concerned anymore. Why am I always concerned about, is it okay? Well, these guys do whatever they want. They lie, cheat, and steal to us, and we just kind of say, oh, okay. No, I think that the time has come to work around some of these issues and not be about their shenanigans. All right, so to package this and boil this all down, I don't think that I'm going to be able to not listen to, sends me something cool, I'm going to listen to it. Jack sells me something cool, I'm going to listen to it. There's a lot of cool stuff, and it does help to get a feeling for what's going on. But nothing sent to me is making me feel like I am ever going to trust these sons of guns ever again with something as intimate as my food supply. I will never trust them. And my advice to you right now, not trust them, and do not trust their minions at these departments of agriculture. Do not trust, right? I can, up and down, side to side, I can tell you, incidents that we've had with these people, and they are nothing but parasites. There is nothing in them that is anything other than parasitic. That's all they do, is parasite off people who do work. So some has shown us what it is. Like with many other things, they've failed us, and now it's time for us to say, okay, well, we'll take this from here. Thank you very much. I'm not about down to the school and wag my finger in those weirdos' face and say, you need to start doing it like this. You need to understand the difference between right and wrong. You need to understand the difference between, Bruce Jenner and Caitlyn Jenner. One was an athlete, one is a perverted, sick, old dude that puts a dress on, but it's still not a girl. They don't understand that. They say, oh no, he is a girl, because that's the story. You're never going to get them to change. So you just have to say, okay, we'll do it ourselves. And that is, I believe that is the beauty of our Constitution, is it gives us the ability to do that. We don't have to play that game. I get back to the one-room schoolhouse. They never put all that much into those one-room schoolhouses. It was a one-room schoolhouse, right? They were nice. They were well-built, solid, but they were not like these, the one down in Big Bane. I have no idea how many millions of dollars went into that school complex. I have no idea. The amphitheater and it's unbelievable, the building that went into that. And, who said that was a good idea? Well, I don't think that was a good idea. I think it should have been, does that equal better education out the door? Because right now I think the whole thing probably needs to just go away and start over again. If the idea is to educate children so that those children are the ones that are going to be our doctors, and I hesitate to say lawyers, but lawyers of the future that will be servicing us, then we want them as smart as possible. Is that school doing that? Not at all. And we all know it. But if we had 5 schoolhouses, one-room schoolhouses, and each one had, let's say, 30 children in it, could there be some real beaners coming out of there? Some real good, solid people? Yeah, there sure could. Chances are very good that could happen and have a huge impact on society. So I think it is time for us to just do our own, do it ourselves, kind of ignore them. I'm not likely to just totally turn it off, but I'm going to spend a lot less time looking for solace, in what Janine is saying. I'm still going to listen to Janine. I like Janine. I'd like to party with Janine. I'm not going to going to rely on it near as much. I'm going to rely on me, and I'm going to rely on you, right? I'm going to rely on Jack. I'm going to rely on, Keith and Inga and Star. And that's where the real help is. That's where the community of each other is. I guys do. I really, Owen, Jack Spirko. I might even go on Jack Spirko's show. I like him. I think he's a smart guy. I would go on his show. I like listening to him. I recommend him. I really do. He's a deep guy. I know some people have had some bad times with him, but I haven't. It's been okay. All right, it's 9:07, and I finally got that out. I had a hard time putting that together in mind and getting that across, but we wound up in the same spot again, and it's self. And when you have a family, I've got folks said, I will come help this. Now, is it in my best interest to, while they're here, say, okay, I'm going to show you how to do this the best I can. I want to give you everything that I have. Is that in my best interest to do that? You are damn right. Because someday I might be on the end of their rope, right? Right now they're on the end of my rope because they don't know how to do this. And they're relying on me to pull them up. And I'm going to. But someday I might be on the end of their rope. It's like that. You might be on the end of their rope. You might be at the end of their sword too, and you have to take that into account. We're all in this together, for sure. If we work together, let's say that of these 4 families that come, I say to them, hey, why don't you put together a butchering facility at your place? And I'm thinking of 2 of them right now. Well, one of them, Dion Stumpo, he already did. Those who are leaning forward, big time. Just think if we could, hey, I've been doing this for, why don't I drive down a place and I can do? How about, yeah, would that be worth an me? Probably more than anything else I would do that day. Right? Because you got a Dion and Amy Stumpo, and you say, how was you? I'd do this. One time I did a consulting with them, and I said, yeah. The thing that makes me around here is, and in the back of my mind thinking, yeah, but I get them to do something that took us a lot of heartache to get it up and running. But then I think that through all that, they're going to listen to you. Tell them what to do. And before you know it, and mission accomplished. That's right. So sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. And that's typical, and you get involved in something and you don't really see what's going on. But I just think we have a tremendous opportunity right now going on, so long as we're the solace in our life, in what we're supposed to do. I wrote something down that old Jack said today. Uh-oh. I wrote it in green. I wrote this down because I thought, okay. All right, yes. How do I, and I'm coming from several people in this, right? Send me this question. We didn't get it, but how do I project us? How do I do that? Well, if Keith asked me that, I would have a better idea of what to tell him, because him, and I've seen pictures of his place. I have a better idea of what to tell him, how to volunteer I use that word because, that'll get there. How to profiteer in times of chaos. But say ballistic, I've just know ballistic on here, and I've never been to his place, and I don't know what he's got going there. So I couldn't really say. But I can do this. If you ask yourself that question 20 times a day, how do I turn this into something? How do I profit during this time of chaos? It'll come to you. It will come to you. We talk about different people known that during a chaotic time, they have said, well, look at the opportunity that came their way. And right, they weren't also wrapped around about all the rotten stuff that was going on that they couldn't see it. A friend of mine was over here Sunday night. I've known them for about as long as anybody's known since we've been here, and very successful guys, hardworking, go work every day. Machine types, salt types. His boy is working with him now, and his brother's working with him now. He had a machine company here in town. He had a machine company in Traverse City. Then he moved it to his home. And during this downturn, because of Wu flu, and nobody's doing anything, a building came available that was more suitable to their needs. They got all their moved over there, and they've opened it up, and now they're like, why shouldn't we put the pedal to the metal? Why shouldn't we? And they're going to, because they're seeing a piece of manufacturing on the horizon. It's out there. It's out there. Now they rely on parts coming from across the pond. And now they know, hey, we can't really rely on that. Well, if you're going to buy them in the United States, it's going to be 30% cheap. But there's a place right down in Texas that makes them. I need 1,000 pieces, and I will send you a check this afternoon. Thank you very much. Add on to your building. Keep it going, because we're going to keep it going. And amongst this group, they're saying, frickin' to these Chinese, we'll do it ourselves. We'll start manufacturing this stuff ourselves. We'll start smelting this metal ourselves. So that is what is going on. And the response to this parasite class of people that's trying to punish us right now, the response is going to be dating to them. And I'm optimistic about that. But we're part of this. We have to see an alternative, not just comply or resist. No, the alternative is we'll take the process over here and we'll do it ourselves, not you parasite scumbags. Right? So there you go. There's my message for tonight. And I can't tell how excited I can get sometimes when about the opportunity that's out there just for me, stuff that I can do, that I can do. So I'm pretty excited. Still working on everything. Justin, we don't have the everything for the bus GoFundMe. We will. It's just busy. Here. We have priorities. But there is some news out there, and I'm just going to announce it. I'm very proud of this individual, but I got a letter from a really good friend the other day, and the letter said that, I really want to serve my community. I really want to be a servant. I want to use my talents. I feel as though the best way to do this would be to continue my education. Right? And I want to know how you feel about that. And that letter came from, and she wants to go to naturopathic school. we happen to have one that's fairly close, but she would be dedicating herself for a number of years. She a naturopathic doctor got done, but I'm for it. I'm totally for it because she wants to do it and she feels called to do it. And it's a no-brainer to me. It's just, I don't like not having her home. It'd be like one weekend a month. But then I thought, hey, you could take the bus. So, yeah, no excuses, no excuses. But we do have work that we started and had to get finished up. And she probably won't be starting at the school for probably a year, because we have stuff in the way. But if she starts it, she'll finish it. She did the last program. It was a 2-year program, and she stayed with it faithfully. But I think she's beyond that level, and I think she needs to continue her education. So I'm for it, and I think it fits in really nicely with the farm. Naturopathic docs are holistic type people. At times they don't have at their disposal the materials that they need to give to people so then there's companies that come along that bottle it and make it available to them, so they wind up kind of just middlemaning some of these naturopathic remedies and stuff, which I got nothing against, but Jill has a unique ability to sense that, hey, what is it about this plant and this part of my foot? What's going on? And then she'll research it. She'll find out that, oh, this plant is actually so we're part what would you call it? A painting here that was created for us, but we were fooled away from it. And so now we have to find our way back to the earth. And so that's what we do. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So, anywho, if you do the thing, you will have the power. Remember. All right, a lot of good conversation. Jill needs to quit watching Oprah. Hey, I'm hearing that the View is going off. Did you guys hear that? So you, Lone Star, you won't be able to get your daily dose of Whoopi Goldberg. That's a shame. What are you going to do? All right. Appreciate everybody. Let's do some house cleaning here. I want to try and set something up. My buddy Charles Bookwalter is running for Congress, and I'm going to have to call him tomorrow. I thought I put a bunch of feelers out of people that I thought would be interested in getting him on radio shows and stuff, and people aren't really all that concerned with that right now. But I think we have to be looking out in that direction. And Charles is, he's that friend of mine that was a Special Forces Army, and he's just felt the call to step up to the plate and run for Congress. He is in Indiana, and I'm going to call him and see if I can get him on the show this week, probably like a Thursday or Friday if he can make it, and let y'all meet. But he's a whale of a guy, and takes huge cojones to throw your hat in the ring to do something like that. I mean, going to Washington is really uncomfortable. He's got a young family, and I could see him saying, well, I can't do that now. But I could see him saying, well, I can't be a Green Beret and go to Afghanistan either. But he did that. So, all right, I'm going to get off. I will see you guys. Appreciate everybody coming by